Hello, this is Mark of the Gary and Mark Show. Welcome to episode 33. You're about to see or hear our first anniversary edition show. We had a great episode coming to you via Zoom, so there are some issues there with sound and picture quality from time to time. The biggest issue was me trying to get it to log on at the beginning. So actually, we missed Gary, who thought we had called it off since I wasn't there. Don't blame him. Gary will be back in the next episode. But we had a good crowd to welcome in this second year and of the first one. We had Mayor Thomas, Mayor of Watershed. We had Dee Dee, who is head of the W3, the Wicked Women of Watershed motorcycle gang. We had Lawyer Joe, who represents the university as well as the show. And we had Angela Nicholas, who is head of marketing at Saluda Outfitters in Saluda, North Carolina. And they were and still are our first official sponsors. So welcome to the show. We'll look forward to having you in future shows. Thanks for being one of our listeners and fans. We do appreciate that very much. Let's get on with the show. All right, so we are online. This is the Gary and Mark Show, and I am Mark. And normally Gary's here, and he says we are live, coming to you, not live, but we are live. So hopefully, I'm sure Gary is very much live, but probably over in the bathroom or something. But this is our first anniversary show, so it is fun to have so many.
Congratulations.
Well, yeah, we didn't think we would ever get this far. So just a quick introduction to people in our here, you guys, and then people in our audience who can see, and then the ones on podcast will hear us. And I don't know what order you see them on your screen, but Angela Nicholas is over there on my screen on the top left. I'm not sure about your screen. Is it the same for everybody's, or Joe may only be seeing him? No. Okay. So Angela, she's actually our very first official sponsor at Saluda Outfitters, home of Green River Eddy's Tap Room and Grill, right?
Proud to be, too.
See, and I wanted Gary to say that because he's always messing it up. But so they're up in Saluda, North Carolina, where we record many of our episodes. And then somewhere on my screen, bottom left, is Mayor Thomas. Now, Mayor Thomas is mayor of Watershed. And it's his second time on the show. And we're glad to have you here, Mayor. And
good to be back.
Yeah, and another person, I'm not sure, again, if you see everybody in what order, but Dee Dee, Mayor, is the person we mentioned that is head of the Wicked Women of Watershed, the W3, that motorcycle gang. How you doing, Dee Dee?
I'm doing all right. I hope you are.
Yeah. And Dee Dee not only is head of the motorcycle gang there in Watershed, Mayor, you've probably seen them come through, but she also just got a job as security at the Watershed Dollar Store. So I don't know if you ever had any trouble over there. She's the one who's going to take care of it.
We have complete faith in her ability to handle anything.
Yeah, I think she can do a good job. And so then we also have with us good old Joe Clark. From what town in Tennessee, Joe?
Knoxville, Tennessee.
That's what I thought. So Joe is the show attorney and the university attorney. And he is doing that like, yep. So he says that with a chuckle because he does not want to get himself in trouble. But you're retired from being an attorney, right there, Joe?
Except for you, Mark.
Except for us. See, there you go. So he keeps us. We tried all kinds of schemes with him, but he keeps us honest. Gary and I, both of us are, we're Gary's 70, I'm 68, so we're both orphans. And so we tried to start the orphan fund.
68.
Yep, and that's what I am. How old are you, Joe?
74. You're just a child.
Oh my gosh, and I don't feel like a child. I'll tell you that much. So Gary's 70, so 74, 70. Dee Dee over there. Guess what? It's her birthday today. Her real birthday today.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
59.
So it is good to have everybody here. So I guess, first of all, Angela not only is marketing director for Saluda Outfitters, a great store with maps and clothing and gear, and you still have the bike shop there?
Yes, we do.
Okay, and a great place, big deck, live music. but they were closed for what, almost 3 months. So you're back in business now, Angela?
Yeah, we only closed a couple of weeks because of the bike shop. The bikes were considered essential, so we've
Really?
been
Okay.
open a while longer. But we're back with, most everything going on. Music on the weekends and the grills buzzing, lots of good food.
And hopefully Gary and I'll be back there soon. I emailed him and said next episode has to be there. So Mayor Thomas, how's social distancing and people keeping safe down in Watershed?
Well, we're slowly getting reopened. The restaurants are starting to seat people at 50% capacity. We're excited to have our visitors coming back, and we've opened a new visitor center. We're very excited about that.
Well, that's good.
We actually have public washrooms on Main Street for the first time ever. So we're anxious for our visitors and tourists to return.
Okay. Well, and it's a good place to visit. Dee Dee, are you ready for visitors to come back to Watershed?
I think people ought to just keep their butts at home.
No, she's big on keeping people safe, and she's good. I mean, at that dollar store there in town, she puts up with nothing. No mask, no entry, right, Dee Dee?
That's right.
Yep. She was telling us on the last episode that people were using the dollar store for babysitting service.
Mm.
Whole families coming there.
Entertainment value.
Yeah. Well, in Watershed, Mayor, is that a good place to go? What is the big entertainment things to do there in Watershed?
Well, mostly it's just a place to come and be peaceful. We love people to come and enjoy the wilderness. We've got the river, the kayaking, the rapids, rafts. We've got the zip line. There's so many things for people to do and enjoy the outdoors. For a town our size, we got a number of restaurants. We do the walking tours. But I really think that the most regular activity that people come here for is to enjoy the peace and the quiet. And we have a lot of people that'll sit on the park benches on Main Street. The kids play with the dogs or they play in the park. And it's just an opportunity to be peaceful and quiet.
Sounds nice. That sounds just a lot like Saluda, doesn't it, Angela?
It does.
It's almost as if we modeled the town off of Saluda. It's almost like that.
Okay. I don't know if you two actually know each other. Do you know her? Angela, do you know Mayor Thomas? He publishes
not in person.
Okay, he publishes a newspaper there in the Saluda area, so you probably have seen that. Yeah, life.
I submitted many articles to him. Yes, with emails.
Okay, so listen, that's a good compliment that they modeled Watershed after Saluda. Pretty good. Is that okay, Joe? Is that legal? Joe?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so that's good legal advice. So anytime he says sounds good to him, that means we can get by with it. We were still trying. I got cut off when we asked about this, contribute to the orphans fund, and I will say he was not too keen on that idea. Maybe Gary's out there now. He thought
No, that one's that's still under review by our multi-attorney staff.
Okay. Well, and we pay Joe what we pay Dee Dee, because Dee Dee's not only at the Watershed dollar store, but she's also security at the Gary and Mark Podcasting University. Yes, indeed. Okay. So
Mark, is anybody else in Saluda or wherever worried about whether or not we'll have football in the fall?
Well, I was hoping our athletic director would get here, or at least our aluminum man triathlon guy would get here. But we are a little bit worried. Mayor Thomas doesn't want too big of crowds, but we won't need him to come back. But I'll tell you what, if we had 5 people at a football game for the Gary and Mark Podcasting University, that would be more than we've ever had before. So we're not too worried about crowds down at the university because all of our stuff.
Sounds like the college where I started.
Which was now you said that last time. Is that where Frank Shell went, or where Joe I mean, where Charlie Tucker went.
No. I eventually wound up at the University of Tennessee, but I started down at a little school called Southwestern Memphis. It's called Rhodes College now.
Oh.
And we didn't have big crowds there.
Uh-huh. Did you have a football team? Was there a
Oh, yeah, we
football?
had a more or less a football team, yeah.
Yeah, well, more or less is all about the Gary and Mark Podcast University. Mostly less. Dee Dee,
Yeah.
you need to apply. You need to join up and get your BS. Joe Clark's got a BS, don't you, Joe? And Angela has a BS.
That's what they tell me.
Yeah.
I don't know why you think I don't have an education.
Now, Mayor Thomas, she's thinking I was insulting her, thinking she didn't have an education, but no, I never said that. I didn't mean to say that anyhow. No, we think you have an education. And I'll tell you, it's not book smarts, it's street smarts, and she's got that. She's got that.
I got
That's
both.
right.
She's got both. That's true.
That's right.
And I'm going
I
to tell you,
both.
the scary thing is, it's probably a good thing, Joe, you live in Knoxville, because she knows where everybody in Watershed and Saluda lives. I'm telling you. She drives by
Yeah.
every so often. Well, Dee Dee, do you
And
I
have
agree
any?
with her totally. There's a lot of overeducated fools out there.
That's
There-
true.
Yeah, absolutely. And the people who, to me, I was just doing something today and thinking about this guy fixing my lawnmower just at my house. So, that's kind of smarts I wish I had. You just do things with your hands and not have to pay someone all the time. And he could handle that. So, Dee Dee, you have any questions for Mayor Thomas about any new motorcycle rules you're afraid he might be putting into effect?
Well, I ain't afraid of Mayor Thomas, and he knows that. That's why he won't ever meet with me. Meet with him.
You'll notice me nodding my head vigorously.
I tried to meet up with him in person on several occasions. I'll meet him over at the bar.
If we
I don't care.
were going to pass any rules in regard to motorcycles, Dee Dee would write them for us.
That's right.
Yeah,
That sounds like a plan, Mayor.
Yeah, and Attorney Joe could decide if they're constitutional or not, I guess, in the
Right,
Watershed
anything you want.
Constitution.
I'd say bring them together for your next show, Mark.
You mean in person or Zoom wise?
Person.
Yeah, I don't know. I may be. I don't know, Mayor Thomas. You want to handle her alone in person? I mean, think you could handle that? She's tough.
I know my place, and therefore I have no concerns or worries.
Okay, that's good. You go with
I
that,
think
Dee
the
Dee?
mayor is I think the mayor is wise to listen to his constituency, which includes yours truly.
Yeah. Did you vote for the mayor?
There you go.
Dee Dee, did you vote for him
There you
last
go.
election?
I believe that who someone votes for is their own private business,
Oh,
Mark.
yeah, that's probably right. That's so that answer could mean, Mayor Thomas, that well, she probably might have voted for you. I would have voted for you, but I don't officially live there. We just do our show from there. But so anyhow, I keep looking up here in my participants waiting room saying, where is Gary? I don't know where that guy went. Still looking for the email. So what is going on? What's that, Dee Dee?
I believe Gary heard I was going to be on, and he just took to the streets.
You know what? That happens. Yeah, that's what I do when she comes through, her gang. But you know what? They're the Wicked Women of Watershed, and I don't think they've ever done a wicked thing. It's just kind of a bad name. You ever thought about changing that name, Dee Dee?
No.
No, she likes that. So one of you who's brave,
Well-
ask her if that's her real name, because I got in trouble. One of you ask her if that's her real name. Go ahead,
I don't know
Angela.
why there's such a hang up on my name. It's what I do.
Am I asking her Dee Dee's her name or the Wicked Women?
Oh, I was Dee Dee's real name. See if that's her real name. She
If it's,
Well, Wicked Women of Watershed sounds wicked. It sounds tough, so
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
you don't want to be like the softy women of Watershed or something. I don't know. But Mayor, you don't have any issue with him, do you? Mayor Thomas, you don't have any issue with the Wicked Women of Watershed, do you?
Absolutely not. Absolutely none. They are some of our most prized residents.
Okay, I like that. I like that. So I saw Angela and Saluda. They're not going to have Coon Dog Day this year. Postponed that for another year, I guess.
Oh, did they? I
Uh, uh,
sorry, I didn't hear that.
I
So it
saw
was going
that
to be
Tryon.
July.
Did you know that, Mayor Tom?
Well, I was just talking. Yeah, I was just talking to a friend of mine in Saluda yesterday morning, and actually the council just voted yesterday. So it is official. Coon Dog Day has been canceled.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, it was in the Tryon Daily Bulletin. You're like this, Joe. This is a Tryon, North Carolina Daily Bulletin, which is now twice a week bulletin, but they still call it the Daily Bulletin. But all the news is fit to print, except the news that Mayor Thomas sometimes sends out in his newsletter, which is probably has as many subscribers as the bulletin does. How many take your pick, Mayor Thomas? You have any idea? How many subscribers do you have to your newsletter?
Well, we print about 350 of the printed versions, but we've got about 3,000 folks online. So
Yeah, well,
it goes to just over 3,000 people.
that's a lot. Yep, I don't know what the Tryon Daily Bulletin has, but that's a lot. So, Joe, what are you doing in retirement these days, since you're the senior member of this group right now?
Well, just trying to avoid COVID-19 here, I guess, basically is the
Ooh.
primary responsibility I have. But there's a whole list of honeydews on my refrigerator, which you'd be welcome to take over about half of them if you'd like.
I mean,
But I imagine you've got a few on yours too.
and I
So
mean,
I've always wondered, Mark, why don't you ever do a live broadcast from Rabbit Island? I think that'd be an excellent idea.
well, I think that would be fun. I mean, I've been there at Rabbit Island, and Joe's been to Rabbit Island. Of course, Gary has. The rest of you ever been to Rabbit Island? It's home of a nice resort. We could do that. We could do that. We could probably do
Just
it
a few beach shots out there toward the lake, and you'd be all set up for a good show.
out in the middle of Lake Summit. You ever been up there, Angela or Mayor Thomas, Lake Summit?
I haven't. I need to go.
Really? You have not?
Here's
Okay. Up in Tuxedo, not far. I mean, it's just like the next, you drive up US 176 from where you guys are and get off on US 25, and there you are, probably 10 minutes away. Yep, it's a nice place. And, they've called that camp off, Joe. I guess you knew that, right, for the summer?
I heard that. I heard they called the June part off. I didn't. Is the rest of it off too?
I wouldn't. You know what? I better not say. I don't know. So anything called off, Dee Dee, that you know of? Watershed.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Yeah, she's about to fall asleep here. So anything called off down in Watershed that you know of that Mayor Thomas might not be aware of? Sometimes you know more than the mayor.
Well, they were gonna have that old Beaver pageant at the end of June, but they called that off.
I've always wanted to go that. Saluda has Coon Dog Days, but Watershed's got the Beaver pageant. Tell us about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Usually the first thing you got to do is round up the beaver queen. You got to go out in the woods and find the biggest beaver you can find, and she sets up there while everybody does their speechifying, and then there's the pageant. Everybody comes out in their either their Sunday finest or their best beaver costume. No offense to the beavers, it's all in great reverence of our beaver friends.
I like that. That's kind of like Coon Dog Day in Saluda, Beaver Day in Watershed. Yeah, we could.
The thing I like best about the beaver pageant is those. It's kind of like a funnel cake, but they call it a beaver tail. All the kids just crazy for that.
Some fried
Nothing
dough.
like a deep fried treat.
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's in the end of June.
Yeah.
Is it going to
Usually
happen?
the last weekend up there in June. That's the whole weekend.
Is it going to happen?
This year is too crowded, too many germs and people not honoring the social distance thing. So no beaver.
Well, that's too bad. I mean, those are important events in a small town, right? Mayor Thomas bring a lot of people down to visit. Something like the Beaver
Hey,
Festival.
Mark, I found something I wanted to show you. Can you see this?
See, I'm telling you.
That's
She's
my BS in podcasting.
and you know what? If I'm not mistaken, you were either the first or the second to get one. Chuck Herron may have been the first or the second. So they're not numbered on there because we didn't want to show off how many people have those. But I can tell you, I can probably count them on two hands. So we're gonna make sure Mayor Thomas gets what's that?
You gave me extra honors.
That's right. And she's got extra honors. I think Joe's got extra honors too. Usually we give extra honors to all the very smart people. So Mayor Thomas, we'll have to make sure you get a diploma from Gary and Mark Podcasting University, and Dee Dee too. She works there, so she can just take one off the wall.
I've been checking my mail every day, and I ain't seen one yet.
I think you're going to see it in the email.
I keep hoping.
We don't have any postage. We don't have any postage. We have a very low budget show here, but I will say that we've been very generous because Saluda Outfitters is one of our sponsors. They don't give us money, but they give something as good as money. One is a nice place to podcast from, and two is they put the second libation on the house, which is very nice, and that adds up in a hurry. Our attorney there, he actually gave a cash donation. That was wonderful. We've got a couple other families that have given some cash donations, so we have enough money in the kitty to pay for our next year's hosting, which starts like June 15th. This show will broadcast on the 15th. That's the beginning of our official second year. We've already been in our second season for months now. That's just the way we do things. We may be in our fourth season before the end of this year. You never know. So we do appreciate all our sponsors, and all you people out there who are listening can always sponsor this show by going to www.garyandmark.com. www.garyandmark.com. Just putting a little plug there. I keep forgetting I have so many websites now I can't keep straight of them. Does the town of Watershed have a website, Mayor Thomas?
Absolutely. Watershed.com, watershednc.com.
Need to check that out. I better make a note.
You can look up all the local businesses. I think we're using Dee Dee's picture as the primary portfolio at the moment.
You know what? She would bring in a lot of people because I think she's a conversation piece. So,
I
Joe,
don't remember the waiver saying you could use my likeness.
I was saying Joe may want to talk to Dee Dee right now about
last year at the Beaver Festival, you were a little drunk and you signed some documents. You may not recall that, but one of those documents was permission to use your photo.
That may indeed have happened.
It might, Joe, would that hold up in the law? If she signed something while she was a little bit tipsy, would that still work in a court of law?
Well, intoxication is not a defense to most crimes. So the question comes back, did she have the capacity to contract? And she looks like a woman who could hold her liquor. So I think she probably did.
Uh-huh. Okay, so we can use her likeness there for the Beaver Festival. I like that. I love this.
So.
I'll have to put a whole website up about the Beaver Festival. That could be a big thing, bigger than we even thought.
So, Mark,
yes, sir.
Do y'all, going back to Dee Dee's question about the Beaver Festival, do y'all have ramps over there?
Rats or ramps?
Wild onion.
Ramps. Yeah, we do. Mayor Thomas, we have ramps, don't we?
Really?
Wild onions?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. There's a ramp festival somewhere. Is that near you or something, Joe?
There is. It's over here on this side of the mountain. Y'all need to come over for the ramp festival up in Newport.
Is that where it is? Newport, Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever heard, Joe, I think this is in Tennessee, a fainting goat festival? You ever heard of that?
Right. There, we have Tennessee fainting goats.
Anybody heard of those besides me and
Over
Joe?
for no reason.
What's that?
Pardon?
What'd you say? That last statement you said?
They're famous over here. They just drop over for no good reason.
Well, I think isn't that part of their defense mechanism when they get scared, kind of like a possum plays dead or something? Don't the goats just kind of faint?
Probably is. I don't know that much about them,
I
but
don't. I've seen pictures. You guys should all to go and look online. Angela, do you believe me? Do you think there's a fainting goat festival and a fainting goat? She's not
I
sure.
believe him. I believe Joe. If he says
Okay.
it's true.
Yeah, of all the people here, Joe's probably the most dependable. Not that Mayor Thomas is not, but I've been known to say some whoppers. Dee Dee, I never know, and I don't even want to ask, but Joe is honest because he's an attorney. But you all need to go look up fainting goats and the fainting goat festival because there is one. I've never been, but I know there is one. So
some people might call that an oxymoron, but I'll let you get by with it.
what is an oxymoron?
He's honest because he's a lawyer.
Oh.
I was going to let that slide too.
Well, and it did go right
I
over
couldn't
my head.
resist, Mayor.
Yeah. So, Mayor, when's the next election coming up? Do you have one in the fall, or you?
Well, now we discussed this briefly in our last visit, but
You know what?
couple
Joe was
years
on the
back,
same visit. He was on that same show, by the way, but we weren't on at
Yeah.
the same time.
we
Yeah.
I've been mayor for so long that nobody remembers when it started, and the prediction has been that nobody cares if it ever ends. So if anybody ever runs against me, we'll be happy to have an election. But frankly, nobody else wants the job.
Yeah. Does it pay any money?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that's.
They gave me this hat. I got this hat. That's what
What's
I
the hat
got.
say on anything? I can't see. I saw it. Does the hat say something on it? Doesn't say Mayor of Watershed on it. I know that much.
Don't say nothing. No,
Well, I like
nothing.
that. Man.
Nothing. Just
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah. Whoops. Okay. So, okay. Let me get this out of my screen. Just said, all right. So we know we're down to 9 minutes because things just came on. Do y'all see a timer in your screen, or is it just mine? Just on mine.
See it.
I got
You do see it. Okay.
I see it.
I see it. Okay. That is there. So it comes up right in the middle, says, do you want to upgrade now? And the answer is no. I thought about it, but no. If I could just do it for like one show for $5, we could probably afford that. We could ask Mayor Thomas to kick in from the town budget. What does the town have a budget, Mayor Thomas?
Not that anybody would notice.
Yeah, not like that. So, and so Angela, so the store survive. Okay, they're not trying to get personal, but I mean, she has a business that, I know you say it was somewhat open, but I mean, were people not coming in? And was it tough? Been a tough 3 months?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, they did shut down, and it just gave the owners some opportunity to do a lot of cleaning and make sure that they were ready to bring people in and to space everything out like other stores are to be sure we're safe. Take care of the customers.
Are people coming back now? Is it
Yes,
good?
yes, they are.
Tap
People are
rooms open?
traveling.
What's
Pardon?
that? Is the tap room open?
North Carolina hasn't allowed the bars to open yet. We're
See, I
hoping
didn't
that will
know
happen.
if that was considered a bar or something else, because it's not like a big place where people are packed in.
No, we're considered. We operate under the restaurant. It's a restaurant.
So you can be
So
open. Can you sell beer?
we are.
Okay, for beer too?
We got that great outdoor deck, Gary.
Yeah,
Mark.
that's
Sorry.
okay. I call myself Gary too. They do have a great outdoor deck. I don't know how big it is, but we all could be on it social distancing and still get 30 more people up there. It is huge. It is huge.
Yeah, we social distance everybody that comes in. So
Well, we're going to start to shut this down here in a second. So we got time just to thank, all of our guests here today. This was fun. I actually had everybody here that I was hoping would be here that said they would be here, except for we have a guy named Jim Moore out in Arizona. And he's a real professor, by the way. He just kind of found the show. But he's in charge of instead of a normal triathlon that involves all that hard stuff, because he used to see these people just looking mean and terrible, like to go fall down and not even make it. He has one called the Aluminum Man Triathlon. It's much easier. It's got golf, bowling, and something else up there. I forgot what it was. But and you can score in fun ways, and nobody breaks a sweat. And I said that's my kind of triathlon. But so he's the only one that I thought might get here. I still don't know where Gary is. That is odd. I keep looking at my email, and he is not. If you tried to call me, I would never get it because my cell phone doesn't work, but my email does. I don't know what happened. So I thank you all for being patient, waiting. If our audience doesn't know, but it took me 20 minutes almost to get this thing to work. Finally, I had to shut down the computer. I need to remember that for next time. Just start from scratch. I kept getting these notices saying, have you updated to the latest Zoom? And I said, yes, like 3 times. So I was afraid that was it too, but it's not. So I want to thank Angela Nicholas from Saluda Outfitters for being here. Mayor Thomas.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And we'll look forward to
Congratulations on your first year, Mark, and tell Gary we said the same.
I will,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, and some of you saw Facebook posting, we've now had over 10,000 downloads. I didn't check right before the show, but the other day it was 10,200. Yeah. I mean, and they're not all me, I'm telling you, because you can't do it but once a day. If you do it twice a day, it doesn't count. So I know it's not me. I never get that many in. So, but thanks everybody. First anniversary. Dee Dee, glad to have her back here again. She still looks a little bit spooky over there, but she's probably very friendly. We have, like Mayor Thomas has not met with her in person, but one of these days we will. So glad to have Mayor Thomas back. This is his second time. And he and our attorney, Joe Clark here from Knoxville, were actually on the same show. That was on the cell phone. That was the first one, social distancing. And so Gary, we were on his deck at home. That must have been back in middle of March, I guess. And so he and I were opposite ends of this table. But that's the last time I've seen Gary. So that's how long that's been. And he was on a hike, but I know he's home, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Uh-oh, someone left. Is that me? Y'all still there?
Mayor Thomas left.
Oh, okay. I said, yeah, what happened? It went to 3, 4, 5 people to 4. I couldn't even figure out who was missing. I couldn't see me at first. All right. So thanks to Angela and Saluda Outfitters, of course, one of our sponsors, LJ Meyers and his white dove releases. You need to do that on your deck one time. These great doves take off and head back home where he is. And of course, I want to thank our Big Whizz Pocket Buddy app that Gary has helped develop, and of course, Rabbit Island Resort. So Dee Dee, thanks for making good use of your time, and all of you for being patient. And Joe, thanks for coming back in on the show again and giving us good legal advice. We appreciate that.
Anytime.
I'll look forward to next time. So thanks everybody. I appreciate it. This is Mark, Gary and Mark Show. I'm signing off for Gary as well. I'm sure he's doing some good things too, and we'll catch you all in the next episode. Guys, just wait 1 second. I'm gonna hit in because we still got like 3 minutes, and I will stop the show here. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you all soon.